Good morning, everyone. I'm Sarah Colvin here with Larry Dapsis, entomologist for the Cape Cod Cooperative Extension. Larry, hello, welcome. Thank you so much.
Good morning, Sarah, and welcome to a beautiful beach day in Sandy Neck Beach Park in Barnstable.
Any day at Sandy Neck is a beautiful day. And of course, we are here on the Marsh Trail in September. Lots of folks said this, of course, is a very popular hiking trail for people. And we were getting some kind of unusual reports from folks who are getting some strange red bites on their ankles. Tell me a little bit about those reports.
Sure. What people are encountering, Sarah, is our newest resident of the Cape, the Lone Star tick. And we came across this through the help of Cape Cod mosquito control 2 years ago. So it hasn't been here that long. But for a number of reasons now, we think it is established here. It's a breeding population. And what people have experienced lately is that one of the life stages of this tick is that when the eggs hatch out in the late summer into the fall, they hatch into this group of little tiny larvae. You can hardly see them. But this is a different tick. They are aggressive. So if you happen to be walking through these uplands and run into one of these, generally you meet the whole family.
It's a party.
And they will swarm you, and before you know it, you might have 100 or 200 bites.
Wow.
And by the time you see the welts, they've already dropped off. The only silver lining in this is that as annoying as the bites are, the larvae do not transmit any of the diseases that are associated with Lone Star tick.
Well, that's certainly good news. And I think we are hearing a lot of misdiagnosis of these bites too. Folks were going to their primary care physicians or the hospital, and people were saying, "Oh, this is chigger bites."
Chigger bites.
First of all, what the heck is a chigger? And second of all, we don't really have those here on Cape Cod.
No, we're too far north, and it's the wrong time of year. And so when people were calling about chiggers, and I talked to my counterpart, Dan Gilrain, on Long Island, where they've had Lone Star for a number of years now, and he said that's one of the problems with dealing with people is that they automatically assume they have chigger bites. And chiggers are a microscopic mite, and they're really Oklahoma, Kansas, down to the Gulf states. And yeah, they can be annoying, but that's not what people are dealing with here.
So what can you tell me, Larry, about the Lone Star tick? As we mentioned, the larva might not carry disease, but do the adults? And what should folks kind of be on the lookout for when it comes to these Lone Star ticks?
Sure. What we're finding out, Sarah, is this is a very, very different tick than what we're used to with something like a deer tick. Deer ticks might be on a piece of vegetation. You brush up against it, they'll latch on and climb. These things, when I first started coming out here, they can run. They have excellent vision, and when they see you, they will chase you. And they are fast. It's like spiders.
Wow.
So that's what sets them apart. So they go out looking for their dinner. While they don't transmit the bugs that cause Lyme or babesiosis or things like that, they have their own unique set of diseases they can transmit that we're working with the Laboratory of Medical Zoology, UMass Amherst, Steve Rich's group, and we're trying to see are the pathogens here, and we've only found a couple hits. So right now, the ticks that people are encountering are fairly clean. That said, it's not just about disease transmission with this tick. What has been discovered a few years ago is that the bite of a Lone Star tick, there's a unique protein in the tick saliva, and this protein can trigger an allergy to red meat consumption. And this allergy can be anything from hives all the way to anaphylactic shock.
Okay, so that certainly is good to watch out for. So what should people do to protect themselves? I know that we're getting into October and the kind of more active season for the larvae, and those ticks was summer to kind of the early fall.
Right, the Lone Star tick larvae should be pretty much done. But right now at this time of year, we're just waiting for the next generation of adult deer stage ticks to come out. And they'll be active from now through the spring. So it's like, okay, the next tick up.
So are the same protective measures good to protect yourselves against both ticks? So let's review
Yes.
what people should do if they want to come hiking in a beautiful place like the Sandy Neck Marsh Trail. What should they
So
do?
personal protection, don't be coming out here wearing flip-flops.
Okay.
Okay? Unless you're wearing sandals with socks.
And you should never do that.
You look a little
That's more
funky,
fashion,
but
exactly.
sure. But you know the standing recommendation of
Yes.
long pants tucked into socks. I don't see people making that bold-fashioned statement on the Cape.
Absolutely.
Okay, but it works.
It does.
So I tell people real footwear, and first line of defense is treating clothing and footwear with a repellent that contains the active ingredient permethrin, which is different from the DEET-based products. DEET products are for exposed skin, and they certainly offer protection, but this is for treating fabric. And like deer ticks, this is very, very effective against Lone Star ticks in all their stages.
And you can spray this on your clothes, on your socks, on your shoes, on your shirt, and it withstands a few washes, correct?
Yeah, up to 6, according to the manufacturer.
Great. And this is something you can find at your local garden center, at the hardware store?
Eastern Mountain Sports, all the major garden centers are now carrying this on the Cape, some of the hardware stores. And it's a simple matter of putting your clothing over like a porch rail, your shoes on the deck, just spray it until it's slightly wet, let it dry off, and you are good to go.
Great. So it's not something you should kind of have in the car and spray on yourself as you're getting ready to walk.
No.
It's more of a you want to do this ahead of time. Be
Right, you got to
proactive
think, you
and-
got to be one step ahead of the tick.
Great. Very, very good information. So Larry, anything else about protecting yourself that you want to get out there to our viewers? I mean, obviously the permethrin definitely seems like the most effective way. But if one is to notice perhaps some of those red bites or the dreaded bite from a deer tick, what should be your plan of action? If
Yeah,
you do
the
get
red
bitten?
welts, they're certainly, if you talk to your doctor, they can certainly give you something, an anti-itch medicine that should provide some relief. If you happen to get a tick of a different stage, like a nymph or an adult stage tick, be it Lone Star or deer tick, a lot of people have their own ideas about tick removal, the burning match trick and the Vaseline. And what we recommend is, you know, pretty much simple, pointy tweezers. Just grab the tick by the head as close to your skin, gently pry straight up. You don't have to rip it or twist it or
Right.
do any of those
Anything
things.
weird?
And it'll pop. And then you have a couple options. One is I can identify the tick for you, tell you who it was that attacked you. If that tick happens to be attached long enough and shows some signs of engorgement, that it's been there for more than 24 hours, now you have an option that you can send that tick to UMass and get it tested for the pathogens associated with that tick. And now you have good information that if you are not feeling good now you have some data you can talk to your doctor about, like, hey, I was exposed to this and maybe even this. So you, in a way, you become a stronger patient advocate.
Indeed, and I think the first instinct, if you pluck something like that off yourself, is to throw it away or flush it. But you're saying keep it, and then
Number
you can send
one
it to
answer is the flush.
Exactly.
But I've had people tell me, Larry, I just popped it in the microwave for a few seconds till I heard it pop. People take their own form of revenge on these
Already
things.
then. But the best thing to do is to keep it and to send it to someone like you so you can get that identified.
Yeah, and people ask me, you know, do I need to put it in alcohol? All I have is like vodka. All you have to do is put it in a little Ziploc bag.
Great.
And that's it. That tick can be analyzed years later.
And what should they do? Should they bring it to the co-op office? Is there a place where people can come drop those ticks off? Can you put it in the mail?
If they want to show it to me first before making a decision about sending it to UMass, or if it's clearly engorged and they're aware that, okay, I want to get this tested, all you have to do is go to tickreport.com. That's the laboratory website.
Great.
And there's an online submission process, easy to navigate, and you'll get your results in 3 to 5 business days. And unlike some of the tests for these pathogens and blood tests for people, this is 99.9% accurate.
Interesting. So very important to save that tick. So I wanted to go back just briefly and talk about the Lone Star tick. We talked about the fact that it's only been here for 2 years.
Yes.
Where is it coming from?
Well, if you look at the distribution map of Lone Star tick, you can see that it's been moving north for the last 25 years or so. And there's a number of ecologists that think this is, another effect of climate change. We're seeing plants and animals in places we didn't used to see them before. And up until recently, the northernmost populations have been really Long Island, off the west coast of the Vineyard, Cuttyhunk Island, Ashan. And when we were called out here 2 years ago by Cape Cod Mosquito Control, we sampled there, further out, spanning about 3 miles. And we're pretty much convinced, okay, we have an established population. Well, this is also an interesting ecological area, being a barrier beach. It's a perfect flyway for migratory birds. We think that's the most likely way this was introduced, that it came in on migratory birds.
Catching a ride on those birds.
Exactly. Birds are really good at moving ticks long distances.
Absolutely. Well, Larry, anything else about the Lone Star or the deer tick that you'd like to get out there? I think we did a good job covering a lot of that important information.
Yeah, one of the things people will ask me, Larry, should I just stay in my house?
No.
I say, no, you want to enjoy your environment, but it's important to understand your environment, because these things are here, but there are prevention tactics that are effective and things you can implement today without a lot of effort. It's just a matter of getting in the habit.
Great. Well, Larry, I thank you so much for joining us. Nice to be out here on Sandy Neck, and we will hopefully help keep people protected against these ticks.
Super.
Thank you so much.
Stay tick safe.
Stay tick safe. Larry Dapsis, of course, entomologist with the Cape Cod Cooperative Extension. For Barnstable This Morning, I'm Sarah Colvin.